Just kind of wanted to start with thank you for coming. Thank you for talking
It's
to
a
me.
pleasure. It's a pleasure.
I appreciate it. But just how was your weekend, man?
It was good, man. Busy with the kids, busy with the family, and just planning for the week.
You do church on the weekends, right?
I do.
Alright, you take your kids with you?
I do.
Did you always do you work on weekends or you slowly do just family?
In the beginning of my career, I worked a lot of weekends, but now I'm blessed that I try to take weekends off to devote for my family.
Yeah, right. I've been trying to find that balance of spending time with my family on the weekends because they don't work, and but also open houses, showings. A lot of times clients are free on the weekends, so that kind of takes it off. You said that you didn't always have that time on the weekends.
Yeah.
At what point in your career in real estate did you sort of shift to having those weekends, or maybe more of that work-life balance type?
Yeah. So I could tell you, first year in real estate, 7 days straight. 7 days straight, 24/7. Well, no, technically eight in the morning. I'll be in the office, and I wouldn't leave the office till probably 10 or 11. And this was usually Eddie and myself leaving at the office. So it was Monday through Friday, or Monday through Sunday, and then the following year, my baby was born. So I definitely wanted to spend time with her. So what I did, depending on my client's schedule, either I have one client that want to see properties on Saturday, and then I have another one that want to see Sunday, and then I got another third client that want to see Sunday. So then I'll tell my Saturday client, you know what, everything's gonna be on Sunday now. So literally, I'll schedule my Sundays from 8 in the morning till midnight if I had to, so I can show all my clients on Sunday, or vice versa.
Yeah.
I will push everyone on Saturday. Same thing. I'll literally fill up my schedule. I'll be showing probably. I remember when I went my high point, I was showing 8 clients on one day. And it was crazy because, back then I was just, they didn't have any structure. So I'll be zigzagging throughout the state, and I really wasn't really planning things out until in the future. But I would work all day. So then I could just have that one day for my daughter and my family, so I could spend quality time with them, because I didn't want to be bouncing back and forth.
No, I hear you. I feel like I've kind of also been trying to work on that too, is more so trying to take control more of my calendar, because I am starting to get busier.
Yeah.
And as opposed to when I first started, it was all right, when do you want to go?
Yeah.
When do you want to go? I'm there.
Yeah.
And now it's all right, we're having business, we're also getting systems in place, and I feel like I've been able to sort of take control a little bit more of that and be all right, can we shift to another day? It really does kind of help with that work-life balance, letting me spend time at home.
Yes.
I'm sure you feel the same way. But I like that autonomy that you get there too.
You have to really go all in. I tell realtors all the time, the first 4 months of your career are very important, because no one knows who you are. No one knows that you're doing real estate, and honestly, no one really cares.
Yeah.
So it's your job as an agent to let everyone know, and then once you let everyone know, let them know again. You gotta keep going. You just keep going. You keep going, because it happened to me that one of my best friends bought a house without me, and for a couple of months I was really upset. But then I reflected, and I really told myself, you know what? I should be mad at myself, because I didn't hang out with them more often. I didn't wasn't there presently. So that's why I kind of decided, I need a day off to really focus on the people that I care about.
Yeah.
So that really helped out too.
Giving back to the VIPs more, and just nurturing those relationships that you already have, especially the people that already believe in you.
Exactly.
I feel like I've been letting that slip a little bit, because I've been just so focused on going on and getting another business. And I have had that exact same thing happen to me. I've seen some friends on social media one day to the next, they got a new house, and I'm
yeah, what happened?
What happened? But I totally agree with you. I feel like you need the balance, because there are also people in your network that are going to want to buy and sell.
Yeah.
And these are the people that trust you the most, so it's why not start there? So I think I've been also just learning, all right, I really do need to get back to my VIPs, and for me, it's a little bit of be humble and get back to the people who have helped you get to where you're at.
Exactly.
Whether they're sending me clients or they want to buy a house or not, it's I know at some point they will, right?
Yeah.
But I think we kind of noted 2 things that I think were huge already. One, that work-life balance is pretty tough as a realtor, or probably just as an entrepreneur as a whole.
Yes.
But we're also noting that when you're a new realtor, one of those big challenges at first is that most people don't know you.
Yes.
Right? Are there any other like big obstacles that you notice that a lot of first year or like new realtors tend to like encounter? And if so, like how do you kind of help them get around it?
Yeah, so like I give myself the example, like I didn't come with sales background. I didn't even know how to sell anything. I came from management, which was like very strict and very, processes. And here in real estate is like, do whatever you got to do,
Yeah.
right? So I had to learn that. I had to learn like how to sell. I had to learn how to build relationships. So what I tell realtors is like, you know what? You have to learn. Number one thing, you have to be open to learning. Like, I came from a background where I knew a lot of stuff in my previous positions, where here I was kind of embarrassed because I didn't know anything. So I would have to be humble and really be open to like, you know what? I'm just gonna take everything in. I'm gonna learn it. And if I have to make adjustment to my style, then I have to. Like, for example, my first year in real estate, not even my first year, before I get into real estate, I was shadowing Eddie Garcia for probably 4 to 5 months. I would pick him up from his house, I would drop him off at his house, we'll have lunch, we'll have dinner, we'll be out in the world doing whatever. But I was seeing and I was intentional of what he was doing, like how he talked to clients, how he met clients, and how people will come to him randomly. And I would like kind of adapt that, take mental notes on like, okay, this is what I like about him, and this is what I probably change because it doesn't fit my style. So just learning those tactics and those styles to really help my business.
I see. And you're saying Eddie, like you followed him, you like shadowed him before your first year, throughout your first year. Would you say like he was one of your big mentors when you walked into real estate?
I would say Eddie's, one of my best friends. I say he's one of my business partner. He's had huge influences in my life, and I know I owe him a lot for helping me build what I built today. Eddie's a great mentor. Even to today, he's always mentoring me in business, in life, in just obstacles. I mean, just randomly in October, I just told him like, "Hey Eddie, let's just meet." We meet all the time, but it's always on an agenda.
Yeah,
I don't like, hey, we gotta talk about
business.
this, or we gotta talk about this, hey, we gotta talk about that. But just I told him like, hey, dude, let's meet. He's like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I met with him, and I just started talking to him like, hey, so how are you doing? How I'm doing, and he was telling me where the company was going and things like that, and I just needed that hour of inspiration because I just needed to know, like, I just wanted to feel inspired myself. Like, every day that goes by in my life, I'm helping agents, and sometimes I need to go get help. And that's one of the reasons too. I started going to church and stuff to be more inspired, and no one can be God. So I always try to find ways how, like, I need to absorb information too.
I definitely I feel like I can resonate a lot with that because I feel like I've gotten to a point with entrepreneurship, business, like building a business, like being in real estate, that when it comes to like taking advice and finding mentors, I feel like the best people that I've like learned to take that from is people that I'd be willing to switch places with.
Yeah.
I think I've learned a whole lot within this past year. Like, I shouldn't take advice from people that I wouldn't switch places with them,
Mhm.
right? And I just noticed it's most of the time it's because our like level of grind or just our urgency on the matter is just it's off.
Hmm.
But I think one of the things I've really appreciated about being here and why I knew the first time I met you that I wanted to work here is because I feel like I got that from you.
Hmm.
I feel like when we meet and when I look at the way that you carry your work, it's inspiring to me because I know that
Thank
in
you.
a few years from now, I'd love to switch places with
Mhm.
you. I'd love to have an office like this, a great team. I'd love to be constantly like helping agents, like helping them grow their own business because it's nice having a business, but if you're able to help other people also do that and get that freedom and get that like maybe that success on their own, I feel like that's awesome.
Yeah.
As a teacher, I wanted that for my students, but it's
Yeah.
like you're doing this now with other agents. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's awesome.
Yes.
And that's why I really like appreciate you being my mentor. You're definitely you and BNA are my biggest mentors when it
Yes.
comes to real estate.
Yes. Thank you.
And it's because I appreciate the urgency. I appreciate how you're on it. You know everything that you're saying. You feel confident in it, and like that's how I want to exude that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Once I'm like years in, and for other people that may be looking for a mentor, what sort of advice would you sort of give them, or what sort of things should they look for in someone that would be a mentor for them?
Yeah. That's a good question because sometimes mentors just happen in life. Like Eddie didn't say like, hey, do I want to be your mentor?
Yeah, right.
No, you know, or I didn't go to like, hey, I want to be your mentor, right? It just kind of happens. Just you have to connect, and you definitely want to always look out to people that are doing a little bit more than you know, and just ask for help and just meet with them, just talk to them because you know, like sometimes in this world is that you know some people just don't want to share anything, and that's okay. You know, and that's honestly okay. But there's a lot of people that are willing to share their information and be out there and help people, genuinely help people. And those are the people you definitely want to be around with because you don't want to be in an area where it's oh it's only me and it's all about me and you know you worry about you. You know, you want to be in an area where it's open. You know, you're able to be free and talk to people and share ideas. You know, helping each other out. You know, like I learned something from you the other day about the whole captions app. And I started using that. And that to me it was amazing, right? But I'm sure you probably grabbed one or two things from me too, you know?
Whole lot.
Maybe one or two,
A whole
right?
lot.
But I'm saying like so just we just gotta collaborate. In this business, you gotta collaborate with the right people and with the right intentions. There's a lot of people out there in the industry is very cutthroat. But and it's okay because we do need that because we gotta make sure we're on our tippy toes, we're ready to go and we're ready to execute for our clients. And that's okay. But for a mentor, you gotta find the right people that you connect with. You gotta find people that, you know, that are doing a little bit better than you. You know, you gotta find people that speak the same language, that have the same values as you. You know, you don't want to be around people that's always about, you know, the money or always about them, and it's always about, you know, like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna be out at night doing whatever. You want to have people that have the same things that you want to share, right? You know. For example, for me, you know, like Eddie Garcia is a great mentor, but I also have my brother, my twin brother, Israel. He's a great, I mean, he's my brother, but I also go up to him and talk to him about business. I always say this all the time, like I feel sometimes he's a smarter twin than me.
I feel like I heard you say that.
Yeah, and I say it all the time because, you know, he's a very, very smart person, you know, and I always love talking to him. We mastermind together, we think about things and just things like that. And honestly, my biggest mentor in my life is probably my mother. My mother has helped me tremendously. She's restored faith in my life. She's always talked to me about family values. She's always told me about hard work. And, you know, even her herself, she has some big stories. So these are like people that are in my life that have really pushed me to be who I am today. My very first house that I ever bought, and kind of one of the questions you said, like, what was your first investment? Was my first house. So every time I talk to a new buyer, I talk to anyone, like, your first real estate investment is your house that you buy. No matter how you want to call it, yeah, you could call it your dream home, or you could call it your starter home, you could call it whatever you want to call it. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's an investment. True. You know, so the first house I ever bought was in 2009. 2009, I bought it for $100,000 in Berwyn, which was a great deal. At that time, I thought it was expensive because all houses were pretty in that price point, but they were pricey, right? And at that time, I got a 5% interest rate. Well, in that time, I thought it was the best rate ever because the market was crashing, everything was crazy. And thank God in that day, you know what, I had a good, steady job. My credit was okay, and I qualified. And when I qualified for that house, I was like, okay, cool, you know, so I bought it.
When you bought it, you weren't in real estate.
I wasn't in real estate, okay. You know, and I bought it $100,000, and I sold it last year, and I sold it for $330,000. So I made basically almost $250,000 profit, and with that money, I used it to invest in other real estate. So I bought 2 other properties with that property, with the proceeds.
Were they also single families or were they?
No, they were multi-units. And then with that money, I also bought my mama house.
Whew. See, that's a goal of mine. I would love to buy my mama a house.
Yeah.
She's always told me ever since I was a little kid that I owe her a car.
Yeah.
A BMW specifically.
Yeah. Okay.
On my way to school, we'd drive past the BMW every day, and we would just see the cars in the lot. My mom would be like, "You owe me one."
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's kind of
and I think and everything's possible if you put your mind to it.
Yeah.
You want to put your mind to it, literally, and it just happened by accident. It's literally like, if I tell you the story, you're gonna be like, what the hell? Like literally, you know, I live in Lamont. There was a house a block away from me for sale by owner. At first I was calling to see if I could list it. I showed it, I looked at it, and I'm like, dude, I like this house, this would be perfect for my mom. At that time, like, most of my family had already moved to like the Lamont area, and my mom was by herself in that Berwyn house. Okay. So then I was like, you know what, let me buy this house, you know, and sure enough, we got into a deal, I got it, and then I rehabbed it, right? and then I updated it, literally rehabbed similar to what looks like this, right?
Oh,
Cleaned it
nice.
up really nice. And it's crazy how everything happens so weird. Like literally my mom's birthday was on October 5th. It's October 5th. And the contractor was like, oh yeah, we'll be done. Like, oh, we're gonna be done. Oh, we'll be done by October 5th. Like, wait, what? October 5th, you'll be done? Like, yeah, we'll be done. That's my mom's birthday. I'm like, perfect. So then I had to get all my brothers and sisters are like, guys, I know it's my mom's birthday. I know we always do something together, but let me just get this one. I want to do her birthday party at her new house. And she was like,
that's awesome.
and they were like, a couple of them were like, oh, Dave wants to get one up on top of us. Like, yo, just give me one. You guys could do whatever. Just give me this one.
That's a house.
It's a house, and and it's kind of sometimes, when something does that, and you have 9 siblings, it's like, what's really happening here, right? So at the end of the day, they were completely fine with it. And then we got my brother Israel was like, oh, kind of did a surprise. So we all got to the house. We all did like food, everything. So Israel tells my mom like, oh, I gotta go show a house really quick. Can you come with me? She's like, yeah, sure, no problem. So Israel brings in my mom. And we open the door and we say, surprise, happy birthday. And then I do a little speech to her and I tell her like, hey mom, you know what? This is yours. This is your house. Happy birthday. We all did this together, and I didn't, and this is for you. And she got emotional, obviously.
Yeah, what was her reaction?
She was happy. She was sad because she was going to leave that other house because she was there for many years, but she just was happy because she's going to be close to her kids. Yeah. And that was basically the whole point for her to come to us and be with us. So.
And she's still there now?
Yeah, she's still there now.
That's awesome. Yeah. What would be like maybe your proudest achievement in terms of like business?
In business, yeah, thank you. In business, you know what? I'm a kind of person, and I talk about this all the time. Like, I can't just settle. Like I won a lot of awards. I've been top producer. I've done this, but to me, it's like, what's next? What's next? What's next? Because like. For example, there's an agent that got a listing the other day. Sandy got a listing.
Awesome. And
I told her, congratulations. Okay, what's next? Like, okay, pat your back, congratulations. Okay, what's next? Right? To me, it's like, we gotta keep going. We gotta keep going in life because there's always someone right behind you to take over your job. And for me, I guess part of this business, I'm not sure, man, to be honest with you. I think I guess in business, one of my things right now, I'm acquiring more investment properties. And right now I'm blessed to have 7 properties that I own, and it's great. And I want to acquire more and more because I want to leave my kids with something and their kids with something because I don't want them to live, like a hard life like most of us live. Mm-hmm. I want to be set for life, and that's something I'm continuously working on. I'm buying them each a property, but I'm also buying them my own home. Like right now, I have 2 single family homes that I own outside of my portfolio. But one day, like it's gonna be theirs, theirs because even if it might not be like the nicest, biggest house, but it's theirs. So, they can never say like I don't have a home to go to. Like if one day they go out and get married, or one day they go out to, be with someone or whatever, and it doesn't work out. They have somewhere to go. Absolutely. They always have somewhere to go. I seen this video where this father was telling his son, like, hey, at the end of the day, this house is not for you, it's for your sister. And the son was like, why? Well, because you're a man, you'll be able to sleep on the floor, you'll be able to sleep wherever. You'll figure it out. But your sister needs to have a home all the time. Because in case something ever happens to her in her life, she has to have somewhere to stay. And since that video, I was like, I'm buying 2 houses right now.
Immediately, you get a home, you get a home.
You get a home, you have, because you never know in life. I might not be here for long, but I want to make sure that they always have somewhere to go. No matter where in life they take them, they always have to have somewhere where they're going to have to establish their home, but also I have investment properties that one day they could use that to run their life. So I'm doing a lot of things for them. And and obviously they're little and they can't see it now, but eventually this video will hit 18 years later from now and they'll see it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I also seen a video on I think it was social media somewhere where it was talking about the same thing, where it's like, when you're having a kid, you should buy them a multi-unit or buy them a house, right? And that when they turn 18, you can tell them that they have it and they want to use it to pay for college, or if they want to live in it, or if they want to do something else, that they would then have that power.
Exactly.
But I think that's beautiful because I also come from like not a lot of money. My mom was 18 when she had me and like worked like 3 jobs just to figure it out, right? We didn't have a house. We like rented around. She bought a condo one time and then had to file bankruptcy after the whole 2009. We've been here with the real estate stuff. So I definitely like I aspire again to be like you in that sense because I think real estate is a really nice like security, a nice asset to have.
Yes.
And I think just being a homeowner just gives you so much power.
Yeah.
Like it is a incredible investment that you could do so much with, and I'm trying to do the exact same thing you're trying to do.
Yes, and it's all possible. You just gotta stay focused, work hard, and be consistent. That's it.
No, I agree. All right, so I have another question for you. I know that we were talking a little bit about obstacles that new agents might have, and we talked about work-life balance. We talked about getting the systems in place, finding a mentor. But I know that another big problem that a lot of new realtors have is like generating leads, right? I know you're a king at it. I know your team is amazing at it. What are some like advice you would give to like maybe new agents or any agents to effectively generate leads?
So generating leads is the heart and soul of my business, right? So how do we do that? We do a lot, So you gotta think about it, Anyone that walks around in this world is a name and a telephone number. They could either do 3 things. One, they could buy with you, they could list with you, or the best important thing, they could refer you someone. Okay, and that's the mindset every agent should be in their head. Like there's a lot of agents that go to all these events, they go to parties, they do this and that, but they never prospect. Like everywhere I go, I'm thinking about who can be my next client. If I go to the store, if I go to Walmart, if I go to Costco, if I go to a birthday party, I swear every time I go to a party that's like outside my family, like maybe a client invited me to, or a friend invited me to, or anything, I always get a client. Always. Because what you tell the world, who you are, that's what the world's gonna relate to you. Like for example, one of my best friends had a baby shower. I went and I got like 2 clients from that. Not even by me saying anything, literally because they see my social media, they talk about me. So we focus on the 80-20 rule. Social media for agents should be 80% business because I don't get paid to be the best father in the world. I don't get paid to be the best husband in the world. I don't get paid to be the best son in the world. Right.
The best photographer
in the world, right? I get paid to be the best realtor in the world, right? And if I tell everyone that consistently, people are gonna recognize that. And they're gonna recognize real estate success with me and I'm gonna be the realtor. So you gotta let people know who you are. You gotta push people that who you are, and you gotta remind people who you are, right? And then when you go to these events, be intentional. Realtors like to go into these things and these parties and events and just BS, literally BS, and that's not the right way to do it. You got to be intentional who you talk to. The other day I had a training yesterday we had a training in the north side, and I asked so how many business cards do you take to a networking event? And then people were like, oh, we take a stack like this, and nope, that's absolutely wrong. How many cards you got to take? 3, and because now you're limited to only 3, so now you can be more intentional who you get those business cards to. And then you want to build relationships with only 3 people. And 3 people are very simple to manage versus a stack of business cards.
Sure.
Then you become basically the person on Sunday church passing out flyers.
Yeah.
And it's all going to go to waste. So you got to be intentional about things. So to answer your question, how do you lead generate? You got to do a lot of things. You got to do social media marketing, 100%, every single day, at least 3 to 5 stories a day. You got to do a Facebook post, Instagram post, at least 3 to 5 a week. You got to remind people who you are and what you're doing. Second, you gotta pick up the phone. Everyone hates to do that. If you can't do that, you gotta pay someone to do that. People don't want to pay you, so then you gotta do it.
Yeah.
So you gotta pick up the phone. At least for an hour prospecting. Number 4, you gotta invest in your business. Like every time you make money, you gotta put it back in your business. Grab some money to survive, but also invest it. If you made, $5,000. 4,000 or 3,000 keep, 2,000 for taxes. Out of the 3,000, 1,000 is gonna help you with marketing. The 2,000 is free to live. Simple as that. You gotta have enough money to invest back in your business. And if you don't have the money to invest in your business, you gotta have your family to support you. Have your friends and family like, hey, do I need you to do a favor? I need you to help me get some referrals. Hey, for the month of March and April, I have a contest with my office. I need to get 10 referrals by the end of the month, or else I'm gonna get fired. Make something up. I don't know.
Yeah.
Push.
I'm gonna use that.
Be intentional. Have a sense of urgency. You know, most realtors be like, you know what? Let's go grab lunch. Let's go waste 2 hours of our day and lunch. No, you gotta be sense of urgency. You gotta, like, for me, at least for me, I know my bills come every month. They don't stop. They don't care if it's Monday, Tuesday, if it's rainy or sunny or snowing.
Commission check or not.
Commission or check or not, they still want their money. And those guys are not gonna stop until they're paid in full. So I gotta keep going. I gotta pay these bills, right? You know, like, so you gotta be marketing, you gotta put sense of urgency, you gotta invest in your business, and you gotta make phone calls. Plain and simple.
What I like about all that too is I feel like a lot of times it gets really overcomplicated as realtors. I feel like we get a lot of like things thrown at us like, oh, you should buy this, we're gonna get you leads, or this and that. A lot of those things that you mentioned, if not all of them, they're free.
Yeah.
And it's really about just like sitting down and doing it and like just having the discipline behind it. And I think that's definitely been another shift in my business too.
You have to, man. And everything you do is just like little bookmarks. Like, you did an event, boom, here's now you could talk to your client like, hey, I did this amazing event, boom. I did this amazing open house. Now you can share like, hey guys, look, I did an amazing open house. Or guess what? I'm gonna invite you to my next open house. You know, there's so many ways to get business, but no one wants to make the calls. No one wants to spend an hour of making calls. They'll rather go look at TikToks all day or look at Instagram stories or Reels or whatever it's called. You know, you gotta focus. And also the main thing too, if you take a step back out of generating leads, you got a time block. Time management is very critical. I was just talking to another realtor the other day or today. You have to win the morning, win the day. Morning should be focused on prospecting, following with your clients, and planning your day. Big thing. And then after 1 o'clock is when you start making your appointments, right? Your appointment should start every time 1 and on. I don't care 1 to midnight, I don't care. But the morning should be focused on prospecting, lead generating for business, getting more names and numbers. Very important.
Win the morning, you win the day?
Win the day.
Alright, I'll take that one too. Well, David, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for talking to me. And, you know, I really appreciate your time. I know we talk like every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You're the man. But
Thank you.
thank you again.
Thank you.